You want to change? You can really feel it in your body, like something inside of you is pulling you forward. So you go all in. New routine, new habits, new aesthetic, new way of speaking. And you throw out everything that reminds you of your old one, the old version of yourself. You delete photos, you stop talking to certain people. And for a few weeks you feel like you're finally becoming the person you were always meant to be. But then, one day, you wake up and you look yourself in the mirror and you think, with this, who am I becoming? This isn't who I am. I don't know who I am. Who is this person in front of me? Because you change so much, so fast, that you don't even recognize yourself anymore. And underneath that newness, there is that quiet feeling that you can't shake. The feeling that you left something behind, something really important. And that thing is you. Hi my loves, I'm Liloh and welcome back on my channel. So today I want to talk about something that I think is one of the most misunderstood things in a self-growth space. And that is reinventing yourself. Because we all want to evolve, we all want to grow, we all want to become the best version of ourselves. And there is so much content out there telling you to level up, to become her, to glow up or give up. But nobody is talking about what happens when you reinvent yourself so hard that you'll lose yourself in the process. And I've been there. I've lived this. And that's why I do this video, because last year I had a period where I really felt like a stranger. I felt like the PNG in my own story. I felt like I was only the observer of my action. Like the person I wasn't me. It was a character. I was feeling like I was in the Truman Show. So today I'm going to break down how to reinvent yourself without losing who you really are. The difference between evolution and erasure, why most reinventions fail, and 3 steps that have genuinely helped me transform my life without losing myself in the process. So let's get right into it. So let me be honest with you guys. My first attempt at reinventing myself was a total disaster. What I mean by that, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, is I tried to erase everything about who I was. So I basically create new routines, new habits, new way of speaking, new way of walking, new environment, new everything. And I was so committed to it, so committed to being this new me, that I even cut off part of myself that were actually beautiful. Like I stopped being soft because I thought softness was a weakness. I stopped being creative because I thought I needed to be more productive and more structured. I stopped daydreaming because, I thought I needed to be more productive. And I became this polished, rigid version of a person who really put together on the outside, but felt completely hollow, completely lost on the inside. Like people, my close one will say, "Oh, you really changed. You seem so together these days." And I will smile. But inside I was thinking, I have never felt this empty in my entire life. I have never felt this lost in my entire life. Because I hadn't actually transformed. I had just performed. I was just performing. And there is a big difference between performing and actually changing. And here's the truth. That kind of reinvention isn't transformation. It is self-abandonment dressed as growth. Because it's you trying to become someone you think the world will approve of more. And the thing is, it works for a while. People notice you, they validate you, but deep down, you feel like a fraud. Because you are one. And not in a mean way, but in the truest sense of the word. You're wearing a costume and you're calling it evolution. Now here's where it gets really important, because there is a fundamental difference between evolving and erasing yourself. And I think most of us confuse the two. Like we think that in order to change, to become a new version of ourselves, we need to destroy who we were, to completely destroy that version of ourselves. But that's not the truth. That's not how true growth works. Evolution is when you shed the layers that don't serve you anymore. So the people pleasing, the self-doubt, the pattern and self-belief that you inherited from other people that were never used to carry, that's actually you getting lighter. That's you getting closer to who you really are, to who you've become. That's you dropping the baggage of the past. Erasure, on the other hand, is when you throw away the part of yourself that are actually core to yourself. So your sensitivity, your humor, your creativity, your playfulness, your tenderness, that little habits that make you you, you throw them all away because somewhere along the line, somewhere along the way, someone told you or you told yourself that all these things made you weak, that those things made you an imposter, but they didn't. They made you you. And I want you to think of it like this. When you renovate a house, like a real renovation, you don't tear down the foundation. You don't burn the whole thing to the ground. No, you keep the structure, you keep the soul of the home. You update the rooms. You let more air in. You knock down the walls that block the light. You paint the walls a color that actually feels like you. And that's what a renovation should feel like. Not a demolition, a renovation. You keep the bones of it, you keep the core of it, but you just make it more beautiful. You just make it more true to who you've become. Okay, so now let me give you the actual framework. And this is what I use and I still use. And this is what I think genuinely works. And I want you to actually try this one, not just watch it and then return to your old patterns tomorrow. So, I don't know, like, write this down. Step 1. Identify your non-negotiable. And this is something most of people skip. So before you change anything, before you change a single habit, before you change a single thing, ask yourself, what will I never give up? What are the parts of myself that feel like home? For me, it's my softness, it's my creativity, it's my music taste, it's the way I love deeply and fearlessly, it's my strange sense of humor that my boyfriend doesn't always get, but he loves anyway. It's my spiritual body soul. Those are my foundation. And no matter what version of myself I'm stepping into, those stay. Because those are my foundation, and without them, I'm disappearing. And I want you to actually do this, like write down 5 things about yourself that you will never sacrifice, no matter how much you change. Because those 5 things, those are your foundation, those are your soul. That's who you are. And if your reinvention requires you to erase any one of the things, that's not reinvention, that's self-betrayal. Step 2, change your patterns, not the person. And this shifted language is everything, because reinvention should target your habits, your environment, your daily rhythm, your boundaries, not your soul. You're not trying to become someone new. You're trying to create a different life. So instead of saying things like, I need to be someone new, say things like, I am someone who lives differently. I don't need to stop being a sensitive person. I just need to stop abandoning my sensitivity. I don't need to become more confident. I need to stop hiding my confidence. See the difference? The person you are becoming, the person you want to become, she's already inside of you. You're not building her from scratch. You're actually just letting her out. You're actually creating more space for her. Step 3, keep one foot in the familiar. And I need you to hear this one because it's the reason so many reinventions collapse. When everything's changed at once, so your environment, your habits, your routine, your cycle, your identity, your nervous system panics. And that panic is what drives you back to your old habits. And that's not weakness, that's biology. Because for your body, for your nervous system, change equals danger. So when you reinvent, keep something from the old you. The same morning coffee, the same playlist, maybe the same journal you've been writing in for years. But keep something that tells your body, that tells your nervous system, we are safe. We are still us, we are just growing. And trust me, that little anchor, that little something familiar is what changed everything. It's literally the difference between a reinvention that lasts long and a reinvention that's crashing after 3 weeks. And if it's hitting different today, please subscribe to my channel because I share things like this every single week. And you know what? Leave a comment too. Tell me something that you're working on reinventing. Now I want to talk about something that nobody really prepares you for. And it's the in-between. You know, that space between who you were and who you are becoming. Because I think we expect reinvention to feel like this beautiful cinematic, like in the movies where the music's well and suddenly you're just better. But that's not how it works. The in-between is messy, it's confusing, You'll have days when you feel totally aligned with the new you, and the next morning you wake up and you're totally back to your old patterns, and you think, oh, I'm such a failure. I was doing so well. But you're not a failure. You're in the middle. And the middle is supposed to feel like this. Like, think about the caterpillar in the cocoon. I know it's cliche, but stay with me. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar doesn't just sprout wings. Absolutely not. It literally dissolves. Like, its entire body dissolves into this molecular cellular soup before it reforms as a butterfly. And that's how dramatic transformation is. And if the caterpillar could think, it would probably be terrified. It will probably think, I'm dying. Everything I was is gone, but it's not dying. It's becoming, and so are you. So if you're in that in-between space right now, if you feel like you're falling apart, if you feel like your old you is gone, but the new you isn't fully formed yet, don't panic. It's the cocoon. That's the process. And the only way out is through. I want to say something to you if you're in the middle of this right now. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The woman you're becoming, she doesn't need to be louder, harder, or more impressive. She needs to be more you. Not the version that shrinks to make other people comfortable. Not the you that performs for validation. Not the you that pretends to be someone she's not because she thinks that's what growth looks like. No. But the you who feel right in your body when no one is watching. The you that comes out when you feel safe enough to stop trying. Because here's the truth I had to learn the hard way. The most powerful reinventions isn't about adding layers, it's about removing them. It's about being so radically honest with yourself that everything just falls apart. The mask, the personas, the version of you built for survival, they drop. And what's left? That's the real you. That's your real self. And she has been there the whole time. Underneath all the layers, underneath everything, and waiting for you to start performing and start living. And it's not because I talk about this subject like this that I achieved everything. Absolutely not. I'm still trying. I'm still in the middle of something. I'm still becoming, and I think life is becoming. But you need to know that you are enough, and you deserve it. You are enough as you are. You don't need to perform for anyone. You, yourself, right now, watching me, you are enough. I know that this sounds a lot. In order to be able to create a more abundant life, you don't need to become someone new. You just need to finally let yourself be who you always been. And that is my love. That is the most powerful reinvention there is. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. I wish you the best of the week, and I see you in the next one. I love you all so much, and yeah, take care of yourself. Ciao, ciao.